Hello again, people. I just got back from off the road, coming back from trying to get some boxes so that I can continue packing up to move. And from morning, actually, when I left here, I have just been in a very sentimental mood about Nevis. I'm just so grateful for my time here. Am I sad to go? Yes. Am I excited to go? Yes. So there's nowhere like Mojo's in St. Kitts. Yes, there are coffee shops there, but Mojo's have a vibe. Nevis just has a vibe, and I love it. It is quiet with just the right amount of convenience without it being too convenient, you know? It is much easier to do anything in the government offices here in Nevis than it is in St. Kitts. I have to renew my license. I am in and out, no longer than 15 minutes. Sometimes you go in there and there's nobody in there, you're just in and out. I love that about here. It is lush, yet very attached to the trees and forests, and we have a lot of that within easy access here. I managed to find a place that feels like I have to pass through a forest to get here. I love that Nevis Peak is right up. I just look up and there it is. It's safe. I went to Ram's Cash and Carry because I know they have boxes there all the time, pretty much. And I met the manager there, very nice man. He was one of the first people who I remember seeing when I came to Nevis to live, because I had to go to Rams to pick up something. So my first place here. He's part of the reason why I was feeling so sentimental, actually. So I told him, I said, you're not used to now. You see me because I'm moving across the water. And we got to chatting, and I told him about my situation with my new job and stuff and what I'm trying to do. And he said, well, money isn't everything. Money isn't everything. He told me his old boss used to say. I was a quote about money. I wish I could remember. But I just got to thinking. I said, what a great place I live in. I feel it's safe here. It's beautiful here. There are still sheep and goats blocking up traffic. I don't mind stopping for them. I actually think it's kind of cute. These are the things that have people from abroad in awe when they come here. You know, they can't believe that we still live in a place where there's a herd of goats or sheep crossing the street, blocking up traffic. And it is a reminder every time it happens that I still live in a place where we have free-range animals just walking around grazing. I have been very lucky with my places here where I've lived. I've had amazing landlords. I remember when I was in my last place, my first place was out in the countryside in Gingerland. Actually, that was the second place. A place that I came, I only stayed there for a month. It just wasn't suitable, but it was a temporary situation. But the first place we put down good roots was in Gingerland on a pasture called Maynard's Ground. Big 2-bedroom apartment upstairs of this house, and the man that owned the house used to work at Four Seasons too. He was a good landlord. And his family lived downstairs and they rented the upstairs, and it was nice because there was really nothing else around on the pasture except donkeys. Yeah, I remember the first night I spent there. But I was so frightened because donkeys started to make noise, and I don't know if you know how donkeys sound, especially when the male chasing the female. Bah, bah, loud. I thought somebody was dying. I got up and ran to the window and realized that it was the donkeys outside. That pasture was always full of donkeys. I left from there to go to Anguilla. After Anguilla was the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, and when I was able to go back to work, I came back to Nevis and rented a cottage in Cades Bay. Small cottage. You know those houses where you have the main house and then you have like a cottage by the pool. Well, they converted that cottage and I rented that cottage. The landlords there were really very nice, very attentive. It was almost like I was a part of the family there, and I came there, they gave me a cake, delicious. Anything that happened there, they looked after it as soon as they could. And when lights would go, as happens fairly regularly here in Nevis, they would call and ask if I was all set with candles or a lantern. And if they knew that the water was going to go or something, they would call me and let me know so that I could plan for it. Really, really very attentive. They looked out for me a lot. And then this place where I am now, up in the hills, which I love. It's cool up here. And my neighbors and I get along really well. They too look out for me, you know. If they don't see me for a couple of days, sometimes I go over to St. Kitts for a couple of days. They want to know where I am, if everything is okay, they'll message me. And the same for me, if I see they're not around and they didn't tell me where they were going, I check on them. The property manager lives upstairs and he has like a garden in the back here. He has different things growing, like for food, papaya, banana, plantain. I don't know what else, but he goes on there every day. Sometimes he will give me some of the bananas or the green banana, and he will look after anything that happens. He's very attentive to. And I see him every morning when he passes because I will spend a lot of time on the patio. Him and his wife. Nevis. Nevis is special. A special little place. And a lot of history, you can feel it. That history has to do with slavery, so it's not necessarily a happy story, but it is a beautiful story, you know, no matter the origin of it. It has left the place with a very unique feel, which people notice all the time. They will say, Nevis just feels different. Yeah, it feels different. It has managed to hold on to its exclusivity to a large degree, and it doesn't feel diluted. You really feel like you're somewhere special, disconnected from the hustle and bustle and the feeling of being constantly tied to a network of communication when you're here. Whether or not you disconnect from technology. And I love that about it. I will be forever grateful to Nevis and the land for sustaining me and supporting me over these past 11 years. Well, 11 years with a break of 2 years to account for when I was in Aquila. Yeah, I thought that would be nice to document and post and look back on to remind me of my time here and how it felt. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you again.